Here are some of the new features that have been added between mid-2016 and mid-2017. In a previous video, I went over Stream Receive, which is a major new feature, and explained how that works. But also added is the ability in the palette to split the palette off as its own window. And this is nice for second displays. You could put this on a second display and zoom it to the full extent of that display, and zoom the main Radiologik interface to the full extent of the other display. To put it back to the tab, just close the window, and it returns back to the tab. Another new addition is the studio timer. That's up here at the left top of the window, little icon timer. Click that, and you can set your timer to a target time. Here it's suggesting the next top of the hour at 10 p.m., or a particular length. And sometimes it makes more sense to set for live purposes, let's say, to a particular time. And other times you want a length, such as when producing a show that's being recorded, and you need to know how much time is left that you have for recording. So I'm going to start this timer right now for 1 minute and 30 seconds. Go back here to the program queue. And down here at the bottom, in part of the remaining program time, we have 30 minutes and 4 seconds of programming time sitting here. And we have the normal calculations to the top of the hour and so on. And then we have a calculation as to how far the queue goes beyond the timer end. And this is actually going to be moving because the queue is not moving, but the timer is. And these can be set as track actions. Right here we have one set. There's a little timer icon there. If you double click this to get track actions, we can set our studio timer as track actions here. I'll turn this one off. Icon goes away. And because we can set it as a track action, of course you can set it as a track action also here in Scheduler in a script. As we go along here, the timer is getting down. It's going to start blinking emphatically at 30 seconds. So this is meant to get your attention, and it will do this all the way down to 0 and even 10 seconds beyond. So you have a real final warning about what is going on with the studio timer. Let's take a look in the preferences. In particular, let's go to publishing. And here you'll see that Tweet Album Art has been added to send your album art to Twitter. Also added is the ability to send text commands via UDP. There are some systems that like UDP, and it's a lot simpler. And there are a bunch of new replacement tags added. Some of them are hinted here, but if you hit the question mark, it'll open the help and point you to the rest of them. And there are some that are noteworthy here. One in particular is dpub, which will return either a true or a false for whether or not you're doing default publishing. Because some systems want to know, is this a song that we need to pay attention to, or is this commercial and station imagery? And this will report that back to them. Another nice addition is when reporting seconds, you can actually subtract from the actual duration of the song by using this notation. So here I have a couple of examples to subtract 5 or 20 seconds. And where this becomes useful is for, let's say, RDS systems. Let's say you only have a 5-second jingle, and that's not enough to display your station information before it goes on to another song. So this gives a longer break by switching back with some RDS systems. It will switch back to default station information before the end of the song, allowing that to display for longer. So take a look at some of these new additions for custom publishing. Or I should say TCP, UDP, and serial and Twitter publishing. Also, many of these also work for custom publish URL. And there's a list of the exact replacements that are used there as well. Then lastly, sort of a real small thing is for the meter scale. There is linear and logarithmic. The linear has been there, but I changed it to be a percentage scale, which makes a lot more sense for linear. So I've noticed some gear for recording, let's say, is more logarithmic oriented, Processing tends to be that way, but some radio boards tend to be more linear oriented, and when they are, they tend to be in percentage. So that's about it.